If you had to leave your home in the next 10 minutes, storm damage, a gas leak, flooding, a fire, would you know exactly what to grab? Because in the UK, emergencies usually aren't end of the world. They're sudden, inconvenient and chaotic, and that's when people make stupid mistakes. In this video, I'm going to show you a realistic go bag for 2026, built for a normal UK life so you can move fast, stay warm, stay calm and not become a burden. Welcome back to Charlie Survival. Today we're building a go bag, not a fantasy bug out into the woods bag. This is for UK realistic scenarios. Power cuts in winter, storms and flooding, getting evacuated, car breakdowns in the cold, staying somewhere unexpected for 24 to 72 hours, or even just getting home when transport goes down. And the goal is simple: buy time, reduce panic and keep you functional. Also, this matters. Your go bag should look normal, not tactical, not flashy. Just a boring bag that says gym or work, not look at me. Quick one, if you're into calm UK realistic preparedness and survival that's actually doable, drop a comment so I know you're here. And subscribe because I'm posting practical stuff like this all year. Right, let's build it properly. The 3 rules: stop overpacking. Before I pull anything out, you need 3 rules, otherwise you'll build a bag that's heavy, messy and pointless. Rule 1. Your bag is for movement, not comfort. If it's too heavy, you won't carry it. Rule 2. In the UK, the big killers are cold, wet and confusion, so warmth, water and information are your priority. Rule 3. Your bag should cover 3 outcomes: get home, stay out overnight, get moved somewhere else, hotel, family, rest centre. That's it. If an item doesn't help one of those outcomes, it's probably fluff. Section 1. The bag itself, Greyman UK style. Start with a normal looking backpack, dark colours, no molly webbing everywhere, no patches that scream tactical. 20 to 30 litres is the sweet spot for most people. If you go bigger, you'll fill it with nonsense, and ideally comfortable straps, 2 main compartments, 1 quick access top pocket, water bottles side pockets and a chest strap so it doesn't swing around. Now we build the components. Section 2. Top pocket items. Grab fast, need fast. Top pocket is for the stuff you might need in the first 60 seconds. 1. Torch or head torch. UK power cuts happen. In winter afternoons sneak up on you fast. A head torch is hands-free, so it's the king. 2. Spare batteries or rechargeable option plus cables. If it's rechargeable, keep it topped up. 3. Power bank plus charging cable. In the UK, your phone is maps, calls, rail updates, payments, contacts, keep it alive. 4. Small cash. Not loads, just enough for petrol, a taxi, a shop if card systems go down. Small notes are better than one big £50 note you can't break. 5. Mini first aid basics, not a full hospital. Plasters, antiseptic, wipes, painkillers if you use them, blister plasters. In an emergency, you're not trying to do surgery, you're trying to stop something small becoming something big. 6. A lighter plus stormproof matches. Not because you're going to light a bonfire in Tesco car park, but because fire is heat, signal and morale if you end up stuck outside. Section 3. Water, UK realistic. Water is where most people overdo it or just forget it. In the UK, you're already crossing deserts, but you might be stuck somewhere with no access or the water might be unsafe. 1. One hard bottle, like a 750ml tough refillable. 2. One collapsible bottle as backup. 3. A small filter or purification tablets as backup. And I'll say this clearly, if you're near floodwater, farm runoff or stagnant water, don't get brave. Filter it properly and use common sense. If it does look dodgy, avoid it. Section 4. Warmth, the UK's real enemy. This is where UK go bags live or die, because cold and wet and wind turns minor inconvenience into danger fast. You don't need loads, you need 1 full warm change. Clothing core kit, packed in a dry bag. Warm socks plus a spare pair. Thermal top or base layer. Beanie hat. Gloves. Light insulating layer. Fleece or compact puffy. Lightweight waterproof jacket or poncho. If you can't stay warm, you can't think. And if you can't think, you make decisions that make everything worse. Emergency warmth. A foil blanket or compact bivvy bag and a hand warmer or 2, optional but brilliant in winter. By the way, if you want the exact kind of items I'm describing, I've got my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list in the description. It's basically a shortcut so you don't spend hours buying random gimmicks. Have a look after this video, especially if you're building your first go bag. Section 5. Shelter. Not camping, just surviving a night. This is not a hiking video. This is I need to stay alive and functional if I'm stuck. Your shelter options should be simple. Compact bivvy. blankie or foil blankets plus a small tarp, and a few meters of cordage. In a storm, even a basic windbreak is massive. Section 6. Food. Boring, portable, no cooking. Food is not for gourmet, it's for blood sugar, decision making and mood. So don't bring noodles that need boiling water, bring high calorie bars, nuts, jerky or ration bars if you want something that lives in the bag for ages. And you don't need 3 days of luxury, you need enough to think clearly while you get to safety. Section 7. Hygiene plus sanitation. These are the I didn't know I needed it until I needed it items. Wet wipes, hand sanitizer, tissues, small toilet roll or compressed wipes, toothbrush plus tiny toothpaste, lip balm. Winter wind is savage. In real disruption, hygiene is comfort and confidence. It keeps you feeling human. Section 8. Information plus comms, UK specific. If your phone dies, you don't just lose entertainment, you lose your brain, so we add redundancy. Printed emergency contacts, family, GP number, etc. A local map, even a printed one. A whistle for simple signalling. And optionally a small wind-up radio for news updates. Comms in the UK can get overloaded during storms. Information keeps you calm. Right, 2 more sections that most people forget. Section 9. Get home tools, the real UK go bag. This is the part that makes a go bag not a camping bag. Small multi-tool, duct tape wrapped flat, zip ties, paracord, spare car charging cable, spare house key stored safely if you can, and if you drive, a high-vis vest, a small warning triangle and a compact jump starter or basic breakdown kit. Because a huge chunk of UK emergencies are something went wrong and now I'm stuck somewhere cold. Section 10. The documents and money mini hack. 1 small zip pouch, photocopy of ID, emergency contact list, a bit of cash, and any essential information you'd panic without, meds list, allergies, etc. If you get moved to a rest centre or you need to check into somewhere, this saves you. Section 11. Packing, why your bag feels heavy. Packing is everything. Heavy items close to your back, soft items around them, top pockets only for quick access, and the secret move, put your whole clothing kit in 1 dry bag, so you can pull it out and change fast without emptying your life onto the floor. Section 12. The real secret. The bag is useless without a plan. The final truth is a go bag doesn't save you. A go bag buys you time while you move to a plan. So ask yourself, where am I going? Who am I calling? How am I getting there? What's my backup? Even just 1 simple plan is better than none. So that's your UK go bag for 2026. Not tactical, not heavy, not fantasy. Just light plus power, water, warmth, basic shelter, simple food, hygiene, info and get home tools. If you build this once, you'll feel the difference immediately because emergencies are 10% event, 90% panic, and this removes panic. If you want more calm UK realistic preparedness and survival, hit like and subscribe. The shortcut to my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list is linked in the description. Use it as a checklist so you don't miss the boring essentials. And comments down below something that you would add to this kit. Now, if you've ever wondered why the UK is starting to feel different, click this video on screen now to learn all about the warning signs that we missed and what to do next. Click it and I'll catch you over there after a cuppa.